Welcome to episode 3 of ABR TV. Today's guest is Thomas Ryan, head coach of Dorman High School and program director for the Upward Stars. We will start the episode by discussing the team's early success in its first year. Then we will move on and talk about some of the team's 17 and under players, followed by a discussion of some of the team's 16 and under players. Finally, we will talk about the Upward Stars and its unique mission before we talk about where the program is headed in July. I hope you enjoy it. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
First year program, going into the season, did you think that you would win 19 out of your first 20 games and be ranked in the top 25 of the country?
No, I mean, obviously our success on the floor has been, a huge surprise. At the same time, we felt really good. The group of players we were able to put together, and as we got to know them and got in the gym with some practice in our initial tournament, we started to really feel good about the group and how well they played together and the continuity of the guys. Just a great group of young men. And so we did see some things there that we thought we had a chance to be a good team. But no doubt we've been blessed with a great start with some big wins and some tournament titles to go along in the spring evaluation. So it was really neat and exciting.
And we'll come back to the team as a whole in a second, but I want to start with some of the players, starting with the 17 and under team. Alec Wintering just seems to be a great team leader from the point, and Sidi Muhammad is a workhorse down low. Give us your opinion on, I guess, first Alec and then second Sidi.
Absolutely. I mean, those two guys have been a big part of our big success on the floor in the spring. We start with Alec, and I think anytime you build a team, your point guard, that position is just so important. They're the catalyst. They're your team leader. They're your quarterback on the floor. And Alec has done a phenomenal job of leading the team. He never takes a play off. Alec understands the game, wants to get better, has been working with Coach Kenny Burns, Charlotte, 5:30 in the morning times, which is some interesting parts of our program player development. But he'll work. He's there every morning. And Alec is by size and weight would be considered an undersized point guard, but he defends. He really takes the opposing point guards out of what they want to do defensively, and then he really pushes the ball well up the floor. Quick first step, gets to the rim well. But more than anything, he's just that leader, that tough leader that you build a program around, and he has just had a phenomenal spring. And I think in July, as colleges continue to watch him and what he brings and watches him over a course of, 10 and 15 games instead of just a one game, I really think somebody's going to get a diamond in the rough in Alec. I mean, he's just a super point guard. And that leads into Sidi. There's no doubt Sidi's probably been the difference maker on our team. 6'10", really runs the floor well, very active, high motor guy. And, he really does change the game defensively with his shot blocking ability, and he understands when to take a charge versus blocking a shot. And on the offensive end, plays slow in the post, great footwork, finishes right or left hand. And, he's a guy that, only been in America for 4 or 5 months now, is adjusting, and really it was really, really good for us, and is a difference maker. And I think there's a lot of colleges starting to take notice of just how good Sidi Muhammad could be. Sidi did a nice job, just got back from the NBA Top 100 camp and really played well. So I think July is a big month for him, an exciting month, and he's going to continue to get better.
Yeah, and those two guys like Justin Mackey and Justin Dotson must love playing with those guys. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely, and I think when you talk about Justin and Justin, those are our two scoring wings, and in the spring they did that. Both of those guys have a knack to find different ways to score, very coachable kids, tough kids. And I think that's one of the biggest things you'll continue to hear me say, especially our 17th group, is just how tough they are and how coachable they are. I thought Justin Dotson's a guy that shot the ball really well, but even more than that, just showed a knack. When we needed a basket, he finds a way to score. He's got a big body, good frame, thick kid that likes to defend, very competitive. And again, he showed his ability to score and defend when needed to be. So I think that Justin, and one of the things that Justin does really good is he scores off the bounce. And a lot of times you don't see kids that have that mid-range game. And then you go to Justin Mackey. Justin Mackey, very well from Irmo High School in Columbia, South Carolina, very well, maybe our biggest surprise. He comes from a great high school program. He had just a phenomenal spring, averaged 18 or 19 points a game. even, again, another kid that got invited to the NBA Top 100. We had 3 kids in our overall program, 116, and then the 217s I've mentioned. So that was a nice for our program to get recognized with guys getting opportunities to individually show their talent. But Justin Maggie's a guy that had really no offers when we started, and now he's getting a slew of mid-major interest, and he continues to, I think, build a resume that's going to give him an opportunity to play college basketball at a high level.
Yeah, you mentioned Justin Dotson, first of all, making big shots. He made a big one in the championship game of the Icebreaker, didn't he?
Absolutely. The game winner off the glass. I mean, that was kind of the first big win for our program, and it was good for Justin, who's had a great attitude, continues to get better to hit such a big shot in such a big arena.
He didn't call it off the glass.
No, I have to say, we twist his arm a little bit, but I don't think he called it off the glass.
Yeah, Justin Mackey, another interesting thing about him, his father was a great player at the University of South Carolina and an assistant coach now at Charleston Southern. Is he especially, does he just have a really good basketball IQ?
Absolutely, Justin does. I mean, BJ, I'm a good friend of BJ, and he's a he knows the game back and forth, is pushing Justin to his limit to be the best player he can be, and of course, so Justin definitely has the pedigree, as you said, may have been the best player to ever, one of the best players to ever play at South Carolina. So I think that's only going to help Justin as he matures into his own game too. And a lot of times people want to compare, and Justin's finding his niche, and it's a little different style than his dad played, and he's very good at it. And I think Justin is going to only get better and better. I think he's just tapping. If he gets in the college year 2 somewhere, he's going to be a really good player.
Yes, I agree. Now, some other guys on the wing. Daniel Bridges has caught our eye. I want to say he's 6'6", 6'7". Yep. Talk a little bit about Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel is, and you probably said the perfect word for him. He is sneaky athletic. He's a 6'7" wing that can really shoot the basketball. But I think the thing that's neat is, the best thing he does is shoot the 3-ball. But because of his athleticism, he blocks some shots. He has great vertical athleticism. He's still working on his lateral, but he jumped really well. Block shots, rebounds per minute as good as anybody we have on our team. And when you look at Daniel, you wouldn't think that. And so I do call him not even a sneaky athlete. I think he's sneaky good.
I agree. Now, with your younger group, let's start with the guy that I think lots of people have heard this name, LJ Peak. He's got a lot of interest from a lot of different big-time colleges, it sounds like. Can you describe him as a player?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got a chance to be dynamic. I mean, LJ is gifted. He can get the ball to the rim about as good as any kid I've seen in a long time. He good height, length, athleticism, just got a little bit of everything. And the one thing that's been super with LJ is every time he's been challenged to, hey, you don't have the perimeter game or you don't shoot the ball well enough, come a month later or the next season, he's shown that. I've coached against LJ since he was an 8th grader. He plays in our league in high school, and he's continued to move his game from inside to the perimeter, and now he's just an outstanding high school player that's only going to get better. And like you said, I mean, he's ranked in the top 50 in pretty much every publication out there, so he's getting interest from everybody, and LJ's going to have an opportunity to play, wherever he wants to. I think the biggest challenge for LJ is continuing to get better, continuing to be that leader, continuing to push him and his teammates to be the best he can be, and he's learning that. Really proud of LJ.
PJ Dozier is a rising sophomore. And
PJ, again, he's it's kind of an interesting what we've done. We've got a mix of 15-under on our 16s. Which helps the program moving forward. I think we have 4 15s that we know are all going to be really, really good. PJ's one of those guys, he's going to only grow. I can't imagine even next year you might wake up and he's a 6'7", combo guard, can play the point or the 2. He's going to get there. You look at his dad and that. Right now he's a 6'3" kid that, really athletic, handles the ball great, has super floor vision, can score it in transition. Shoots the ball pretty well. I think that's the one area of PJ's game that as he continues to improve, he'll become unguardable, as he becomes a threat more from the perimeter.
JJ Arcega Whiteside, Javis Howard, Wesley Johnson, those are all young guys who play for your 16-under team, but they did even move up with you at Bob Gibbons and play with the 17s and got some great experience there.
Yeah, we had some 17s out that tournament, prime, different reasons, and so we moved up 3 or 4 of those guys that you just mentioned, and those 2 post players, Wesley and James, and JJ and PJ were actually the 4 players. JJ, again, is a rising sophomore like PJ. Plays for me at Dorman. It plays harder than any kid I've ever had. But I can't say enough about the 2 bigs in Javis Howard out of Irmo, South Carolina, and Wesley Johnson out of Greenville, South Carolina, Eastside High School. Both of them have bodies that they're going to grow into. 6'7", 6'8", really have a chance to be a good player. Probably had more questions out in June, more phone calls about those 2 than anybody in our program, just because of the upside post player, great kids.
Now, talk a little bit about your team. You do some things on Fridays and Saturdays when you're at tournaments to try to build the camaraderie of the team. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of we talk about the success of our teams, and we've been excited and blessed with the 17s winning so many tournaments and the 16s having so much talent. But the biggest thing that was the reason this program came to fruition is, Upward Sports, who's a strong nonprofit Christian organization in churches, saw a need for us to get into this AAU circuit where kids are playing everywhere, getting great exposure, great opportunities. But we wanted to be a little different. We wanted to set up a program that also put a strong emphasis on character development, hired coaches that were Christian coaches that lived out what they believe. And so that's what we've on Friday and Saturday nights. We have character development sessions where we may emphasize quality and integrity, or faith, hard work, different things that we talk about. Some of the players have given their testimonies. Coaches, just what they're about, what makes them tick, what the Lord's done in their life. And so it's been neat to see where we've been able to make a difference, even in seeing these kids grow and what character means. And it's not, the basketball will stop bouncing one day, and then you find out, hey, what are you made of? What makes you up? So that's kind of been our emphasis on Friday and Saturday nights, because we know we've got a great group of kids that have been blessed on the basketball court, but we want them to take things more than that, where they actually are molded into the men they're going to be. And so that's been neat on Friday and Saturday nights, and then Sunday mornings, as we have our service before we go play, we find times to all get together, and it may maybe 10 or 15 minutes, but get together and really talk about what's going on in their lives, and because we want our program to be getting involved and mentoring these kids for a lifetime. So it's been neat to see that, even more than the wins, and the wins has given us a platform to talk about what we're doing. But we're excited as we move forward, as we expand the program. This year, we have a 1700 group and then 2 1600 groups. But going into next year, we will probably fill that out 13 through 17 and under, based out of Spartanburg, South Carolina, and we're excited about where that leads to have an opportunity to touch more kids and give kids more opportunities.
Now, you've mentioned July a few times. Can you briefly tell us where the road will take you in July?
Yeah, we're excited. We'll start up next week. We'll be at the Queen City Showcase with our 16s, 8s, and 17s, which is a good tournament there in Charlotte as the open evaluation period starts. We've got one still question mark. We'll either be in Greensboro, North Carolina at the CP3 tournament, or at Myrtle Beach, still finalizing that exactly which one's the best for our program. And then we're really excited about being in Augusta, Aiken area there at Peach State as we move through, I guess, the middle of the 18th through the 22nd. And then wrapping up the summer, our 17s will go to Orlando for the Nationals, while our 16s will go to Atlanta in a Power 24, which is a tournament we're excited about, where some of the top 1,600 teams in the Southeast will be, and a good opportunity for us to wrap up the summer with our 16s playing a high-quality event there in Atlanta.
ABR will be at Queen City, will be at Peach State, and will be at Power 24. And you're by far one of our favorite programs. We've thoroughly enjoyed covering you throughout the spring, and we look forward to doing so in July, and we look forward to seeing you out on the circuit.
Well, thanks for having me. Really enjoyed talking to you. We're excited about where our Upward Stars program's going, and even more than the basketball, how much a difference we can make in these kids' lives. But I do appreciate you talking to us and excited about July.